How y'all doing out there? I'm Kel.
And I'm Jake.
And you are kicking it with Kel and Jake. Today's topic, we are talking about our first gig. And how old were we when we got them? What was your first gig?
Well, my first gig was I worked at a restaurant. It was called Grego's. And I was 16. It's no longer around because the dude did not know how to manage his business. And he kind of blamed everybody but himself. He drank at work. He kept some tequila and some Shiner in his office, and he drank at work. And there was only two people that worked there. It was me. It was a very small restaurant. It was over at this place called the Mansions in Rockwall. It's like an apartment building, but for like older people. It's like almost like a retirement home, but they don't call it that. And it's like for well-off, like rich old people. And they would always they were tipping me. I was making more off the tips than I actually was working there. That was back when it was $7 an hour.
Oh wow!
And yeah, it was $7.50. I was making $7.50 an hour. I was in charge of taking orders, washing dishes, and also running plates.
Running plates.
So and basically like with that gig, I worked it like a whole year. His business started going under. The person that I worked with warned me about him, and she was a lot older than me, and she actually told me to quit, and I didn't listen, and I should have quit. And the business went down. It started going down. There's this older gentleman that usually comes in. He tips me about $100 like every single time he sees me. He's an old war veteran. He likes to throw his money around, and he would tip me like $100. And I remember the owner, Greg. I talk about him now because he doesn't have a business. It's always a Greg.
It's always a Greg. It's always a Greg.
Yeah. I'm talking about him because he doesn't have a business anymore. But
what happened to it? Oh, it went down?
It went under because he had a drinking problem. And he blamed everybody around him but himself. But basically, what broke the straw on the camel's back, the reason why I quit, was because that old guy that normally tips me $100, he came in that one day, but instead of tipping me, he paid with $100. And I had just enough money to give him change in the register to give him the change. So I gave him his change, and then Greg, the owner, came out, and that guy, I don't remember exactly what was said, but he said something to that dude that he felt insulted, and it pissed him off. And that guy, when I went to go get his plates, and I took him to the kitchen, he came around to the cash register and took his $100 back, including the change that I just gave him. And then I didn't notice until like the end of the shift because he came in like towards the end, and I was just running plates and washing dishes, trying to get everything. Yeah,
trying to get them out.
Trying to get everything like back and under. Trying to close out for the evening.
Yeah.
And Greg told me to go get the lockbox that we keep the money in. And so I went to go get the lockbox, and I gave it to him, and he's like, "There's no money. there's no money in here. What happened?" And I just looked. I was 16. Like I was like, I don't know. And then I knew what happened. I knew the dude because I saw them exchanging words. Yeah. And Greg told him he was pointing and told him to leave or something like that. But I was running dishes, so I didn't really hear everything that was going on. And when I went to the kitchen, that dude came back, took his $100 back out of that box. And then so by the time it was time to close and I gave him the lockbox,
it didn't have the $100.
It didn't have any money. So he ganked him. He came around. He came around. That old dude ganked him, and then I was the fall pretty much.
You was the fall
because
guy.
He blamed me for stealing the $100, and he tried to tell me I was fired, and I was like, I didn't steal shit from you. I basically pulled how that dude in Half Baked was like, fuck you, you're cool. Fuck you. Yeah. I pulled one of those.
Oh, okay.
And I pretty much told the dude that I pretty much told him I quit. I'm not fired. I said, don't even worry about it. I'm not gonna put this bullshit ass job on my resume anyway. This was a good learning experience. You have a nice life. And I walked the fuck out. And I called that person that quit and told me I needed to quit and warned me about him. And he was drunk whenever he accused me of stealing the $100. And I could have easily reported him for being drunk and cooking people's food and putting people at risk, but I didn't. And because I'm not, a snitch. but I called that girl that quit and warned me about him. And I said, you know what, you're right. That dude tried to fire me today and accused me of stealing $100 from
Well,
him.
he didn't try to. He fired you.
Yeah, he did, but I quit. Let's get it straight.
He's gonna claim he quit, but he got fired. Yeah. We're gonna say fired. He want to claim fired. I've never been fired before.
But it was unjust. I didn't steal anything. I was working there. I didn't have to steal anything.
Hey man, he fired you.
What about you, man?
Hey, mine is a little different. I don't know for sure if this was the first job, because I've had a bunch of jobs in my lifetime. Yeah. But I used to work at this place called Ventures. There was a grocery store. Mm. It was kind of like a Kmart, if you remember the Kmarts. And so it was called Ventures. And we worked, me and my buddy Curtis at the time, we was working at the food court. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that was the worst thing they could have did. Let us cook food. So it was up in there, man. I think we was probably like 15, 16, something like that. But we was up in there, man, and it was funny because we used to cook our own food. We wouldn't actually serve people. I've actually served somebody, and it was, I felt bad about it, but the person was begging, and they kept asking. I told them we didn't have any pizza. Yeah. And it was like, I want a piece. I was like, ma'am, you don't want this pizza, I promise you, because the cheese was molded. And so she kept begging. I was like, okay, I'll cook you a piece. So I took that molded cheese, put it on top.
Knowing it's not good.
Cook it. Now, she should even knew it wasn't good. It stunk up the place.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, because
you don't ever buy food from a place that stinks, bro.
Yeah, you don't supposed to buy it because it's not supposed to smell like that. Yeah. And so what ended up happening, she took it and was just over there snacking. I know she got sick that late on that evening, but that wasn't my fault. I told her we didn't have any, but she begged me to death. But we used to go around there and we'd plan and stuff like that. But that was the first job I've actually had, and my friend got fired. And so he came by the house and was talking about, man, you need to quit before they fire you. I was like, they're not gonna fire me because I'm the best worker they have. I cook my own food and take drinks home and stuff when I feel like it, but they're not gonna fire me. So they tried it too. Yeah. I came in one day and they brought me in. You know, they sit you down and they try to act like, you know, because they wait till the end of the day. After you don't work the whole day, they want to bring you in and say, hey, they want to fire you, but I did similar to what you said. No, you're not going to fire me. I quit.
Yeah. so you got fired.
So I got fired.
Oh, yeah, you got fired.
But I will say that job let me know that I never wanted to work cooking food again. Yeah, I didn't want to cook any food anymore. I didn't want to be in there. But I did make some of the best burgers. I made patty melts and stuff like that for myself. So I used to eat good when I was at work.
Yeah, you know, the thing about the food service industry is they always make the best food for themselves.
Of course, because you know what to put on it. Yeah. You already got the ingredients. You just got to put it on top of it. Yeah, so it was good. It was good. But I did get fired, though. So that'll be our show, and we will see you next episode. And you have been kicking it with Kel and Jake.
Peace.
Peace.